So guys, you guys are probably wondering, what pedal am I talking about? Well, I'll show you right here. And before you click off the video, let me explain, okay? But the pedal is the magic bubble. Now, hear me out. Like I said, first a bit of history here. Magic Bubble was the 91st pedal added to Florr a while ago, and part of the Magic series of pedals that was released around the time of Coral and pedals like that as well. Now, it currently is considered bad because of its mana cost and because it has the same reload time as normal bubble. Really, you're just trading the reload cost for a slightly easier to control bubble, right? When you could just be using yin yang and get the same results. It is technically better to use the mythic version over the ultra variant. Now, that is how bad it is currently considered, right? And in some use cases, it actually is still better to use the mythic version. Now, it depends on what you have. This is a pedal that I think the community has forgotten about because not many people have tried using it after realizing it has such a high mana cost. There's no way it can be good, right? Now, the thing is, having a bubble that can control exactly where you want to go at any given moment is super OP. It's really good. Even at the mythic rarity, it is insane. And you should be using it in your DPS builds. Let me also explain that in a second. Okay. Now, obviously for me, it's going to be extremely easy to use with 2 super magic leaves, right? Because 2 super magic leaves basically sustains an ultra magic bubble. But you can still use, even if you don't have super magic leaves, you can use 2 ultra magic leaves with mythic bubble. And that will work almost just as well. It'll be slightly worse, but you still get almost the same value out of it, especially for the main parts of its use cases. Now, Magic Bubble, I think, is really good in super hunting, especially from getting away from super mobs, and I'll show that. But first, I'm just going to show you guys some gameplay of farming with it with both the Mythic Magic Bubble and then also with the Ultra one, just to show you what I mean, because not only is it good for super hunting, but it can also be used in your farming DPS builds. If you need to get away from mobs and stuff like that really quickly, it's great for that, especially if you already have sufficient DPS. If you have good DPS and you can afford to use, a leaf or 2 to hold on to mana so that you can just bubble away when you need it, it's really nice to have. Okay, so I'm going to show that here. Worse of a build, just to show you that it does have potential even with lower DPS, although I would be careful using it. I wouldn't recommend it as much for people with maybe only ultras, but as you start to, get better pedals, especially good DPS pedals like super pedals, definitely consider using the Magic Bubble because of how good it is when it's paired with really good DPS. The main places where this is really good is probably Anthill and maybe a bit of Ocean. Desert's also okay. I would only say Ocean and Desert if you do have the higher DPS. Anthill is really good in because there are no ranged mobs, so you can use it nicely there. But there are definitely some places in Ocean, CK, what else? Shell Zone, Starfish Zone, all pretty good spots for you to use Magic Bubble, especially if you can sustain the Ultra one. So now I'm going to show some gameplay of me using it to super hunt. You'll see both the Ultra Magic Bubble being used and then also the Mythic. I think in this first clip I'm going to end up using the Mythic Magic Bubble against a crab with some really bad DPS just to kind of show you its potential, even if you are using it with, not the best DPS. So here the crab is right below. I can both use the Magic Bubble. What's really nice is you can use it both to get out of the way of the super mobs slash the ultra mobs, whatever you need to get out of the way of from, but you can also use it to get yourself and position yourself into a better spot inside the mega. So here, if I want to be towards the front, I can go towards the front, right? If I want to be more towards the back, I have freedom to kind of really choose pretty easily just with the magic bubble. And yeah, so here we're going to be fighting the crab with suboptimal DPS. I know this isn't going to be the toughest crab to loot, but you should still see its potential here, even with, you know, ultra dice. I get myself into a pretty weird spot here with the 2 starfish, but because of the bubble, I'm actually able to like get out. So it's really nice, you know, and still be DPSing the crab. And you'll see that I avoid some of the crab's attacks because of the bubble, right? I'm able to kind of move out of the way if I need to and stuff like that. And because of that, I'm able to loot. I think I get like 2 mythics here. Nothing too good. But yeah, I'm able to dodge out of the way, put myself in a good spot to kill the crab. And remember, this is just with the mythic variant, you know? If you are able to sustain the ultra one, or even if you're not able, but you can just kind of save the mana, what you can do is you can, you know, only put on 2 ultra magic leaves or something like that, and then just kind of wait. And once you get the mana, then you can, you know, equip the ultra magic bubble. Stuff like that really works pretty well too, because then you'll still have enough mana to kind of sustain as much movement as you need to do for the super, but you don't have to, you know, use the magic leaves as much or use the magic bubble slot unless you really need it, you know, which is also really nice. And so here I'm killing the starfish. You know, I bubbled up to the starfish using the bubble, which is pretty nice to use. And then if I need it here, it's a starfish, so I don't really need to use bubble, but I always have it on the bottom slot. That way, if I do need it, I can use it, right? And like I said, you don't always need to have the leaves equipped. It's just when you want to be building up that mana to then use the bubble, then you need to, you know, have the leaves equipped. So if you do have better DPS, you can still use that. You know, you don't necessarily have to sacrifice your mana unless you really need to. Okay, and then here I'm gonna fight one more super. I'll fight a crab, another crab in a second. Again with the ultra magic bubble. And I mean, I should honestly do like a video about my builds and stuff. Maybe I'll have to do that. But I have the bubble currently in what? I have it in my luring build as like a sub build for my luring build if I do want to use it, because it can actually be used there too, which I'll show some clips of a cool squad with that. You'll see in a second. I know you're thinking like, luring, what? Why are you using it in luring? But trust me, it makes sense. At least for me, it makes sense. And then also, I have it in my luring build, DPS build, my main DPS build, my like sub DPS build, because I have 2 DPS builds. What else? Is there anything else? I think I have it in one more build. I forget what I call the build, but I know I have it in one more build for another thing. Oh, and then also my egging build. I have it in like 4 or 5 builds, so it's pretty useful, you know. But it's pretty cool because, you know, the magic bubble is a petal people think is really bad, but really it does have some use cases. It just kind of it becomes a better petal the better petals you have, you know, especially if you have better mana leaves. It really helps. But if you don't, you can still use it very well with good DPS, you know. So it's nice. I would still like to honestly see a bit of a buff to the cost of it. I think 320 mana for 1 bubble is a little too much, even at ultra rarity. I think it should just be a little lower, but other than that, I mean, it's great. Okay, and so here now, I'm going to show you guys a strat that I kind of came up with. And so what I end up doing is I end up luring with Bulb. I am literally the lure, but I'm also DPSing at the same time. The reason I'm DPSing is because our DPS squad was not the strongest, so we needed a little extra DPS. And so what I did was I equipped Bulb with my DPS build and then used Magic Bubble because it gave me more control, which means I didn't really have to use Ankh. although Ankh still would have been nice to use, but I was playing it a little risky, didn't use Ankh, and I think this is also a really cool showcase of what Magic Bubble is capable of, especially if it ends up getting a mana cost, nerf or buff, however you want to call it, just to lower that mana cost by a little bit would be super nice for the Petal. And I think at that point, everyone should be using this because it is insanely good. It's not just good for mobile players. But yeah, here, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to run a couple clips of me luring with the bulb just to kind of show you how crazy it is. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Just remember, this is a Petal that gets better the better you get at the game, right? Both the better you get at the game, and then also the more petals, the better petals you get. So as you guys keep, progressing, keep getting supers, that kind of stuff, it will slowly become better and better for you. And in a while, I'm sure you'll be able to use it like me, or even just right now in the use cases of, super hunting, maybe a bit for farming, not really, but mainly just super hunting to avoid danger, and then also maybe even eventually for luring. This, who knows, this could end up being really strong in the future. Just seeing how good it is here, could be very strong in the future for different luring squads, or different squads where you might need to lure. But for now, I would at least put it in your super hunting builds towards the back, not something that you necessarily need, but instead of maybe having, 3-4 bubbles underneath your super build taking up a bunch of space, why not literally just use a magic bubble and 1 to 2 leaves, right? I'm just saying, it's an option. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, see ya. Also, a couple more things. Thank you for the support on the last video. I've gotten a lot of new subs. That's cool. We're gonna win the subscriber race against Wambly. Wambly doesn't stand a chance, guys. So thank you so much for that. Remember to like and subscribe as well if you do like this type of content. I want to do more of the kind of like chill videos where I'm just kind of talking, I'm yapping even. So if you do like that kind of stuff like this, please let me know, because it'll let me know if I should, keep making these types of videos. I'd like to also incorporate maybe a little more editing into them, though. This one was really just kind of me talking, not so much me editing and putting in different clips and stuff like that. So if you would like something like that, let me know. What else? Oh, and then also I'm doing good with the glass save right now. I'm basically up to track with how many I should have for how many new subs we got. I think we got like 50 right now or something like that. So I'm right around there, which is nice. And you can probably see it in some of the farming clips that I've put up. But yeah, thank you guys so much. See ya.